Hello, virtual friends. I'm here with Andrew Wayland. Hey, Andrew.
Hello.
Hi. So we are here for our live tour because they have wonderful internet here at the historic Bishop home in Casper, Wyoming. Andrew, tell me about this hat that I have borrowed from the museum.
Oh, yeah. So that's a hat that's a part of our collection. So that's really unique. So that was belonged to one of the family members that probably would have worn it to a Sunday service or Sunday brunch or different things like that. So we have that. A few years ago, we had a exhibition where we showed all of the different hats in the house. And so what we did is we just made sure that we had all of them ready to go, and that's just one of many that you can see if you come to the house.
If you come to the house, I love it. Well, thank you for letting me borrow it for this video. It is so fun to be here. So Andrew, give us your official title of this house.
So I am Andrew Wayland. I am the Historic Bishop Home House Coordinator and Research Analyst.
And he has a degree in history, right?
Yep. I received my bachelor's in history from University of Northern Colorado and my master's in public history from the University of Southern New Hampshire.
That is so great, and it's so cool to see you working here, and just to know that jobs like this they exist and they're important. And you've worked at like 5 different museums. So,
I have
yeah,
quite a few ones in Casper. I served a couple of seasons at one of the national parks. I've done a whole bunch of different museum stuff. It's really important to me, and I really enjoy doing the work.
Yes, and he's a good enunciator, everybody, and he knows so much about this home. So we're going to tour it and have fun. So if you're here, let us know, share the video. First, I want to thank the Meet Me in the Middle Dog Club for arranging this, and Kay Schrader for arranging this, and of course, the Bishop House and Andrew for staying later and doing a private tour with us. So we're going to turn the camera around, and Andrew, where are we standing right now?
So we are in the hallway of the Bishop House. So this is kind of where we start off our normal tours. So what we do is we talk about the family and kind of how they ended up in Wyoming. What's really unique is the family was, especially Marvin, we can trace his lineage back to the East Coast of the United States. And he traveled all the way out to Nebraska where he met Leona, his wife, and they got married. And they came all the way to Cheyenne where they ran a couple of dry goods businesses, and then came all the way up to Casper when Marvin was offered the job of postmaster in Casper. So this is about 1895 or so.
Cool. So this is them. And then who is this?
So that's Victoria. So she's a special lady that actually didn't belong to the family. So the story goes that basically a gentleman that was really involved with the house really wanted the mannequin that was sitting in the back of a barbershop for a number of years. And so when he finally convinced the barbershop owner to let him have it, him and his wife really worked to dress her up in period clothing. So you can see the hat and the Suffrage sash on that, and then the very Victorian style dress with the gloves and the umbrella and everything.
Yes, I love it. And I asked if you guys had something that I could wear, but no, because this looks bigger on screen, everybody. Everything always appears larger, but this is like a 13-inch waist. I couldn't even get my leg in there. It's amazing how tidy these women were. Could you tell us what a suffrage sash is?
So a suffrage sash is what the women would have worn when they were working to get the vote for women in the United States in the late 1800s into the 1900s. So what we really worked to is kind of tell the story of the suffrage. What's unique about Wyoming is that women have had the right to vote since the beginning of statehood. And one of the really unique things about Wyoming is that when they were offered statehood, the legislature in Washington told them that they would be okay if they came in without women's suffrage, and the legislature of Wyoming basically told them that we'd be okay with just still being a territory if that meant giving up the right for women to vote.
Wow, interesting. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. There's a lot of history here, everybody.
There is. So it's really unique. So the house has 2 really specific time periods that we try to work through and celebrate and kind of show to visitors. So we have the early time period, so from about 1907 when the house was built to about 1950, so that's after the parents had passed away, and then 1950 to about 1999 when 4 of the 6 of the bishop daughters lived here as adults. So as we go through the house, I'll talk about each of the family members and kind of where they lived and kind of what they did as far as being in Casper.
I love it. Okay, so where are we going to start?
So we'll start off in the parlor there. So it shows one of our really special exhibits that we have up currently through the end of the month into the beginning weeks of September. So all of these dolls that you see are all the first wives of Wyoming. So they're the governor's wives. So each of them represents one of the first ladies. And so they were modeled after pictures of each of them. So you can see how each one of them is different. We have the first 16 down in this room, and then the rest are upstairs, which we'll see. What's really unique is what we did is we really worked to chronologically explore the women and kind of write facts about them and kind of explore who they were. So we have everybody from Helen Warren, our first lady, who really worked to promote coming to Wyoming. We have some women who were wives of soldiers. We have wives who helped run education programs. They were really involved with a lot of different things. So these dolls really represent the really specific women of Wyoming.
I love that. I love that. I think it's really important to do that, and I love that they all have different faces and that you guys have taken the time to honor and represent all of these different women that played a huge role in the development of Wyoming. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We've been enjoying these throughout the house. And then this actual room is...
So this is the parlor. So if it was originally set up, like as it is set up normally, we have a few tables and sitting chairs in here. And so this is the room that they would have greeted guests in. So probably not a room that was often very open often. But everything you see in here is original to the family. What's really special about that is that everything in this house was used. There are very few items that have just been donated after the fact.
Wonderful. Okay. So now we're going to move through this sitting parlor. Should we go this way, Andrew? Okay. If you guys are just tuning in, which I know a lot of you are just hopping on this video, we are here with Andrew Wayland, who is the lead person for the Bishop House, the researcher, the curator, the docent, the everything jack of all trades. And he is giving us a private tour, courtesy of the Meet Me in the Middle Doll Club and, of course, the Bishop House. So this is a fun dining room.
Yeah. So this has been simply kind of a living room area, kind of a very, very simple couches, tables, probably a radio or two in here where they would have relaxed after dinner. Right now we use it as kind of a meeting space.
Sure.
On the wall behind me here is a pop-up exhibit that we have that celebrates the Fair Housing Act of the United States that we did in conjunction with the Wyoming Realtors Association. So what we did is we kind of looked at the timeline of fair housing, and then what's really special on our TV here, we have a slideshow of maps and different facts about Casper. So each one of those maps are actually fire insurance maps that kind of show how Casper had grown over a number of years. And so as historians, we really look at different resources like that people wouldn't necessarily think about using, and that actually can tell us a lot about kind of different aspects of housing and social engagements and things like that.
Absolutely, very cool. So when you're thinking of putting on a new exhibit, you kind of have to get to creative, like what could we do this month or this year? So
exactly.
I love that. You guys are working hard. So the next room we're going to go into is beautifully decorated, ready for company.
So this is our formal dining room. So everything except our china hutch in the corner there is original. So you can see all of the furniture in here is hand carved. It was done by an artisan that actually sent it up to the family on the rail cars. So
on the rail cars, cool.
See, everything is very, very ornate and very beautiful. So our table here actually seats about 15 people when it's fully extended. Right now it's set up to have a small dining outing.
Little simple service, yeah.
But you can see that it's really, really special. Our chandelier here above the table is actually original to the house. It has been just modernized for current electricity, but it's
gorgeous. I love a good chandelier. That's beautiful. It's funny seeing the light reflecting in the camera of the candles. Here we go. Hi, everybody. This is beautiful. I'm sure one of the favorite rooms. And if you guys are out there watching and you have a hutch full of beautiful china treasures, let us know. The condition of all of the furniture, Andrew, is remarkably preserved.
It is. So we've worked to really make sure that everything can stay in as pristine condition as we can. So there are some items that we have had to restore just from use and wear, but a lot of it has been really well taken care of. What's unique is that the family had always lived here, so there wasn't consistent furniture moving, and there wasn't things that got destroyed. I mean, the thing is that as the house was lived in, it changed over the decades. So when certain styles came in and certain styles went out, it changed the house. But they were really conscientious of keeping original furniture that their parents owned and everything.
I love it. Okay, so now we're going to cruise through the kitchen, and then you guys had a teddy bear tea, right? That was,
we did.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago, which is super fun. How did that go?
It went really well. We had about 12 people here, and some of the people who actually are at the Doll Expo this weekend.
Yes.
And they came and ate and celebrated with their teddy bears.
And had their teddy bears.
Yeah. So
How many, have you ever had I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I got so excited when you said Doll Expo. Yeah. Have you had very many Doll Expos in town?
I don't know. I've actually only been here for about 10 months. So as far as I know, it's a thing, but this one's been the big one. We've actually had about 35 people come through today from the Doll Expo.
This is a big one. It's a Doll Expo. I like that. That's cool. Okay, so we are here. Yes, we're here for the Meet Me in the Middle doll show and event, and we are having a private tour of the Bishop home out here in Casper, Wyoming. So now, Andrew, where are we going to go? Upstairs?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, just in here real quick. So this is our open air kitchen. So this is something you won't always see in Wyoming because midwinter it gets really cold and windy up here. But this is a style that you would have seen really similar in Eastern kitchens.
Yeah, I love the vintage. What is that? Like, it's definitely a 1950s vibe.
Yeah, 1950s, 1960s linoleum.
Totally. It's perfect. I love it. Okay. So here we go, everybody, and this is a beautiful piece of stained glass right there. So now we're going to go watch your steps. So if you're with us, we are here live with Andrew Wayland, and we are touring the historic Bishop home, which is part of the excitement of the Doll Expo that is happening this weekend. So now we are going up the stairs. You guys are going to definitely want to stay on right now because we're going to see some dolls. So there are a lot of Madame Alexander dolls in this house. What's the reason for that?
So those are actually all part of the house collection. So a few years ago, Susan, our foundation head, actually worked to have an exhibit of all the different dolls that the house has had or been donated to us and things like that.
Wonderful. Well, there are a lot of doll people watching, and we love our Madame Alexander dolls. And then there's a couple Ginnies here too, which are so sweet. They're having their own little tea party right there. So that's really wonderful. So which room should we start in? So
start in here.
Look at this, everybody. Aren't these sweet? Okay, so we get to do something really special too. Andrew, I'll let you do that. We get to go past the rope. I promise we'd be very careful, and we get to look at some of these wonderful dolls in this beautiful historic room. So these, again, they have a little sign here talking about the history of Madame Alexander. There's Madame right there. She was a very progressive and innovative woman.
Yeah. I didn't know much about her before we set up the dolls.
Yes.
But I learned quite a bit. I'm not necessarily known.
You're not a doll historian?
No,
They didn't teach you the doll?
No, I'm mostly more concerned with making sure that they stay intact.
Yes. Well, you guys are doing a great job. Let's turn it back to the dolls so you guys can see some of them and the trunk and stuff like that. This is such a sweet room. I just love it. We've got the Queen. This is so beautiful. Okay, and so we're just gonna sneak around a little bit. It's fun to actually be in here. They don't let people back here. We got special access. What are a couple of your favorite things in this room, Andrew?
So this room really shows a really unique thing about how the house changed. So as you see kind of the wallpaper and then the picture mantle on the top of the wallpaper really kind of shows how the house changed. So you see where the empty spot between the ceiling and the top of the picture mantle is.
Yes.
Is when the house was in style to have drop ceilings, they actually put drop ceilings in here. And so when the foundation took over, they changed it back to have higher ceilings as the original house was. So this room really shows kind of how the house changed over time.
I love that. What a sweet room. Now, who slept in this room?
That's Marguerite. So that's her on the little desk there.
Okay.
So she's really important to the family. She actually worked for and later owned a fashion boutique in downtown Casper called Blakey's, which made to wear clothing.
Cool.
So really known, and she was known for her travels. So she went to New York and Paris and London to get the latest fashion styles.
Right on. Okay. So we are going into now, what is this little room called?
So that's our sewing room.
It's a sewing room. Love
it.
It
Kind of
sewing room.
shows a few different types of sewing that the family would have done. So we have
I love the pink telephone.
we actually have more telephones on display than we do beds at the moment.
I love it. Well, it's so good because I'm sure a lot of kids and younger people have maybe not even seen a rotary telephone in their life. So we are in the sewing room, everybody. I love it. Let's look at the Singer sewing machine. That's a beautiful one. Sewing is the process of joining multiple pieces of fabric with a thread that stitches the pieces together. Yep, we know all about that. Okay. Now this room.
So this is another bedroom. So this is Marie's room. So she lived in this house for quite a number of years after she became an adult. So 4 of our 6 daughters of the family actually lived here as adults. So we saw Lucille's room and Marguerite's rooms already. So Marie lived in here as well. So what's neat about her is that she worked for the Rocky Mountain Telephone Company for a number of years as a stenographer. And she actually helped introduce this Princess-style telephone to Casper.
Wow. Oh, cool.
A unique fact about her is Marie actually wasn't her given name. Her given name was Pink. And
P-I-N-K?
P-I-N-K, like the color.
Interesting.
So family story goes that she was born very pink, and Leona drank a lot of pink tonic. And so she was named Pink up until about school age, where she decided to go by Marie. But she was always called Marie Pink Bishop in every yearbook, every newsletter, every newspaper about her ever after.
Did she wear a lot of pink?
We think so. This is how her room probably would have been decorated, with the pink wallpaper and the pink blouse and everything.
I love it. Okay, so let's go into the next room where there are a couple more dolls as well. Here we go, everybody. So these dolls are, Andrew, we had a question earlier. Were all of these dolls made by the same maker?
They were. So it was a group of women down in Cheyenne that made these dolls out of porcelain. They had molds that they used them to form the dolls' bodies and then individual heads. And so what they do is every time we have a new First Lady, they'll make a new doll. And so we've had a few dolls made here recently, and they're just working to preserve them and keep them around as long as they can.
Definitely. So the dolls, everybody, that you were looking at, they are modeled for the First Lady herself, which I love her glasses. Look at those. She must have loved her eyewear. And so each one has definitely its own face, its own sculpt, and its own look. So she's glamorous. So this is fun. I'm sure one of the neat parts of the exhibit, and really great for our doll expo. This vanity is a lot of fun. So now we're going to go upstairs into the attic, which it's kind of loud up there because there's a big fan.
It is, but we'll turn it off so we can talk a little bit. And then
Oh, perfect.
We'll show you around.
Okay, cool. All right. Are you with us, everybody? Because we're going to go up into the attic now. It's a very, it's a very sharp stairway, and we're cruising up here. It's going to get loud, but he's going to turn off the fan. This is like a playroom. So you have 100 years of toys from the 1900s to basically, the 70s.
Yeah, so that was the exhibit that was actually helped put on by Casper College Museum Studies program a few years ago. And so they put up all the toys, they made the exhibit signs, all of that stuff.
Wonderful.
The Casper College program really works with different museums every year to really help them with a project.
Fantastic. A lot of our viewers that are tuning in, not only do they love dolls and toys and history, they love, just our architecture and to just see this kind of thing. We are in this wonderful attic. I love the attic. What a great place to play. It feels like 100 years ago, Andrew, though, it probably got very hot in the summer.
It did. So this area would have been where they would have done schoolwork and played and everything as such. But it was probably not used very often when it was really hot.
He turned off the fan like 2 minutes ago, and I can already feel the temperature rising. So that's very typical, though, of a house built like this.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay. So those trunks are wonderful. They are so much fun. So here we go. You guys have some pictures of the original plumbing and how it used to look.
So some of the stuff that they've done to renovate everything. So the area we kind of walked through downstairs was a full bath that they changed over. We have a change of wiring, different things like that. We even have an example of one of the original switches in the house.
I love the little touches that you guys have done throughout the house to just really preserve and to show the evolution of what you have done. Do you get a lot of groups of like children in schools and things like that?
We do. So we actually host about 3 of the different elementary schools during the spring and fall semesters occasionally that will come through and tour the house as part of their component about learning Wyoming and Natrona County history.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we've got a lot of our virtual viewers here who just love being here with us and seeing these things and looking at the typewriters, and a lot of it, I'm sure, is just so nostalgic for a lot of you that are watching. There's the street out there. So, Andrew, the Bishop Home is open several days a week, and you guys give tours and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about if somebody comes to Casper?
Of course. So we're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays from 10 to 2. And you can also give us a call if it's an off day and you're in town. And we'll try to get somebody over here as much as we can. Our phone number is 307-235-5277. Right now we're really working to change over exhibits after we send the dolls back to the Cheyenne, but we will get different exhibits set up. We're really working to help celebrate suffrage in Wyoming this year, and then next year is the Year of the Woman, so we'll have a lot of exhibits based towards that. Because the family had so many daughters, and all the daughters are very involved with different things at Casper, we're really working to write profiles about them as well.
That is so cool. I love it. The Year of the Woman. If you guys come out to Casper, Wyoming, definitely make the Bishop House one of your stops. We're going to look at a couple more things, but I am here with the wonderful Andrew, and they have arranged and given us and stayed later for a private tour for us. So it is just such a treat for all of us to see this. So we're going to look at some more of the wonderful toys and things up here in the attic. Look at this Dennis the Menace, everybody. Look at his eyebrows. So much fun. So much fun. And when we go into this little closet over here, I love that you guys didn't paint over one of the little, let's go into this little area right here. Look at that. It says May 4th, 1914. Let's see if we can get that. Yeah, just little fun touches. So these little museum houses, I feel like a lot of times are overlooked by bigger, grander things, and they shouldn't be, because they're so interesting, they're so fun, and they're like little gems. Would you agree with me?
I agree. It's really neat. Our house is actually really special. We're actually on the National Historic Register, which is really important because we're on it by ourselves. It takes a lot more work to get put on as just an individual house rather than a whole entire neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool too. So if somebody wanted to support the museum and what you guys are trying to accomplish, what's a couple ways that they could do that?
Of course. So you can always donate money. You go to cadomafoundation.org, our website, or check out our Facebook to get in contact with us. We're always looking for help to kind of identify different objects, kind of really work to preserve them. If you're in Wyoming or in the local area, we're always looking for help to curate and take care of things around the house. We're also looking to just spread the word about the house.
Absolutely. So if you guys come to the house, take pictures. You guys allow pictures, you allow videos, get it out there, spread the word so more people can come and just absorb the culture and have some fun out here in Casper, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us, Andrew. We
Thank
had a
you for
great time.
coming.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.